Hello everyone, happy Friday. It is Friday the 12th of September 2025 and it is a beautiful day out in Sydney today. It's been a bit wet and miserable, so I'm feeling just a bit warm. It's been a bit wet and miserable the last couple of days, but today and looks like tomorrow will be quite a good day. Nice sunny weather and stuff, so that's going to be nice. We get to celebrate. Sorry, I'm just fixing myself. We get to celebrate my daughter's 16th birthday, which was on Wednesday this week. Yes, she turned 16. So in Australia, if you're not aware, they can, well, in Sydney, they can get their, New South Wales, they can get their license, their learner's permit when they turn 16. And so she got her learner's permit on Wednesday. She'd already passed the test. They can do it online now. But she had to go into Services New South Wales and pick up her license and stuff. So that was very exciting for her. And yeah, she's now 16. She can drive with an adult accompanying her and observing her. So that's very exciting. So I've got a 12 months worth of driving with the learner. So that'll be good. And tomorrow we actually have her 13th birthday party. So she's got some friends coming over, which will be lovely. And so we've been madly preparing for that. And she's made the cake. She said she wanted to make the cake, so she's made the cake. Anyway, I digress. It is a beautiful day out in Sydney today, so I hope you can get out into the sunshine and enjoy some of the day. But today I decided, because we're in September, I thought, let's get started on some more Christmas cards. So last week we did some Christmas cards. So I'm going to keep that theme going and go with some more Christmas cards today. And I'm going to be using the Jolly Holly bundle. So that is a photopolymer stamp set along with a embossing folder and die set. And it's actually hybrid. So you can actually do the die cutting and the embossing at the same time, which is a good time saver, really. So let me show you what we have. No, I want to go that one. Yeah, okay, so this is the bundle. So you've got the dies, and it's a set of, I don't know how many, eight dies. So you've got the two frames, you've got Joy, you've got a couple of holly leaves and some other leaves, a little flower, and that's the die cut of the bells. This is the hybrid part that goes with the embossing folder. So this is the embossing folder, and I just got to remember which way it goes. Which way? Hang on. There we go. It goes that way. And what you find is it actually almost locks into. It does lock in. It sort of locks into place. And so it's you can't move it now. It's unless you really try, but it's harder to move. So which is really cool. And so when you use that, I had a couple of pieces. When you use them together, it comes out like that. And so all these little pieces can actually pop up. So it's a really nice nice bundle. And then, so you can pop all of these up. And then you've also got the stamp set, which you've got the Happy, Merry Christmas, Joy, Holly and Jolly. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. And wishing you and yours all the best. And so you've got the bells, you've got the flower, you've got the holly, and you've got lots of little words and stuff. So it's really quite a sweet set. And so I've got some cards that I would say are reasonably simple, but they do take some tools. So it does actually take the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so you do need that. But let's have a bit of a play. So I've got that one already. So I did do a small amount of prep work, but not a lot, because I played with this a couple of months or so ago now. So I think I'm going to start with a black one, a black card. So I've got my embossing, my card base. I have an insert for inside the card, I've got my front. And so I think we're just going to do a black and white one. Black, white and gold. That's what I want to do. Black, white and gold. So, because I wanted to bring in this paper, which is the Modern Christmas. So I thought I'd bring in the Modern Christmas specialty paper. So just sort of thinking, so this is actually really pretty, this paper. So it's black, gold and white, obviously. Yes. Morning, Elizabeth. How are you going? I have done a small amount of prep, I need to say. Only a small amount. But I think I might use that piece. So I'm going to do, yeah, black, white and gold. This card. So I've had an idea early this morning. Well, not early this morning. I can't say that because it wasn't. It was before I came on. So how wide do I want to make this one? Let's go about an inch, I think. Maybe 3 centimeters. There we go. 3 is a good number. I like 3. So I'm going to start by just gluing this one down here. Which way do I want to go? I think I will. I'll go down this way. Let's use our grid lines to line it all up. And then our scissors just to trim it off. And then you've got all these little pieces, and I've got some dimensionals. And so I'm going to turn this over, and I'm actually going to put some dimensionals on some of the holly leaves, and that's actually what's going to hold the card front down onto the card base. I'm basically popping these up when I layer it down onto the card. And this one, I'm actually going to pop up over there. The others I can pop over the top. I could have done that one, hang on. Yep. Let's see if this one works. No, that's not going to work. That's okay. I was hoping that was going to go straight over the top nicely as well, but it's not. But that's okay. Let's go these ones here. So the mini dimensionals would be really good for these as well. And so this is going to show some of the black cardstock underneath. You get to use lots of dimensionals on this card. Not that one, not that one, not that one, this one. And then that one, that one, and that. Okay, I think that's what we've got. All right, so peel all the backing paper off. one more. No, two more. One more here. There we go. Okay. Now card base. And I only made a couple of mil. This is a bit tricky because I'm layering onto black. Usually I have my other grid paper. So I'm popping up. So they're all popped up on dimensionals, and the rest of it should be sitting reasonably flat. You probably could put 2 dimensionals underneath a couple of them as well to really give them that extra dimension. And then we have our ephemera pack. So this is the what we used last week. And so I was thinking I can use that again. I think I'm going to do Merry and Bright. And then I've got a couple of punches. So some of the new punches, well, not new, they're new-ish. I think I'm going to do the 1 3/4 punch. I realised I was missing a few punches, a few circle punches, and so I put them in my order recently. And as you know from last week, these ephemera packs, they're adhesive. And so I'm just going to mount that straight on like that. And then in that designer series paper, the modern Christmas one, this one, in the suite of products, there's also this gorgeous black and gold trim. And it's not just the black and gold, there's a white and gold, which doesn't seem to be here at the moment. So we're going to use the black and gold. And let me just think. I think I'm just going to tie a big bow. I think that's going to work. Yep. Oops. And that bow is just going to sit behind our sentiment. Somewhere there. And then we'll just pop this up on dimensionals as well. And because that one's popped up there, I'm going to put this on this side. There we go. And then, where's my, oh, not that one. I'm just going to cut a couple of inserts. So I'll use that for another card. So for my insert, I'm actually going to do, 10 centimeters by 14.3. And because I've got the gold and the black on the outside, I'm going to just do a little strip on the inside as well. Again, down towards the bottom. Oh, that's not straight. Morning, Yvonne. How are you going? And then I've got, this can just go on the inside. And you've just got a elegant black, white and gold card. Now you could actually add in little embellishments as well, but I don't think we really need it on this one. I think it's it stands on its own. Having the holly leaves sort of overlapping the DSP, I think, is helpful as well, because it just adds a bit of extra there. And then you've got the trim underneath. And all I've done literally is just do a bow. I always struggle with putting ribbon or trim and stuff underneath something, because I never know sort of how much and where to put it. So I learned if you just do a bow and do a big bow, then it actually sits really quite nicely. So that's my first card. I hope you like that one. So, yep, I've got another piece that I've actually already done. So this is Old Olive. And because I had a few cards that I did a while ago, I think I'm just going to use Old Olive on this one. I've got some Old Olive. Oops, it's too big. Gotta trim it down. What have we got? We've got 10.5. Okay, let's go down to 10. 10 by 14.3. Yes, we're at 14.3, so that's good. I've got another little leaf. And another little simple card, I think, on this one. But I'm going to just glue it straight down. I'm not going to do dimensionals or anything. Now I am missing a little piece down the bottom. And I'm just going to glue that on as well. There we go. So although it's been cut, you actually see the texture and see the outline, so it actually gives it a bit of definition around the holly. And just a piece of real red, and that's 1.5 centimeters. And just chop that one down to 14.3. No, not 14.3. 10. We're doing 10 centimeters. So I've got a bit of a frog in my throat, as they say. So line it up with your grid paper. Oh. Let's get that a bit straighter. Grid paper. Eyeball it as best you can. Okay. And then I think if we have a bit of white, look what I found. A few little offcuts of white. What have we got? Bright and happy Christmas wishes. I'm just going to do that in black. So this is a simple card, but yeah, just sort of more in the traditional colours. I actually like moving away from some of the traditional colours some of the time, so it's nice to have something a bit different. And I think that one can just pop up on some dimensionals as well. Now with this one, because we've got the red and like old olive, we've got some rhinestones. So you can actually colour these in if you really want to, but I'm just going to put some on randomly. I'm just going to add some on randomly. So you could actually do them all as little holly, or you could colour in the holly, but just be careful you're going to colour them in, because if you use the blends, it'll actually run fairly quickly. I tried. And I didn't like it very much. So I stayed away from that one. But that's just, yeah, another little card that's quite nice, you know, traditional colours. And then I've got another piece of basic white that I've actually embossed. And this one I want to use some red card stock. So I can't remember what size we're at. This is 10. So I'm going to chop it down a bit. I'm going to do 9.8. Yep, 9.8, 10, 2, and 14.1. Let's see how we go with that. And then this one, I'm actually going to chop it at 10.1. 10.1 by 14.4. So it's a couple of mil bigger all the way around. You can see that. A bit bigger all the way around. And then we'll get my card base, so basic white. And this one, I want to actually glue that straight down. Let's hope that I have some trim. I know I did have. Oh, there's some. I don't know if that's red, but it's going to work. As I said, as I always say, use what you have on hand, because you don't want to waste any of your products. I'm just going to tie in a knot. So we've got the baker's twine. I'll chop a tiny bit more off, I think. Where are my better scissors? Yeah. So I've got that. I'm going to glue that. Actually, I'll pop them up on dimensionals, I think. This one. So there, and then we've got Joy that I'm just going to see if I can. You should actually probably cut this out onto the foam bits, the foam sheets, but I didn't do that. So I'm just going to use the edges of the dimensionals. Which gets a bit fiddlier. Probably a bit too wide, actually. Um, okay, I've got 3 bits. And you just glue that one on there. And you've got a lovely Joy card. Again, you can add some dimensionals, some embellishments if you'd like. Entirely up to you. Use what you have. And you could churn those ones out, I think, reasonably quickly. Depends how many cards you need to make. Because that's basically just running that through the embossing folder. I would suggest putting this onto the foam when you're cutting it out. That's probably a bit better. Alternatively, you can just glue it straight down. Entirely up to you. But that's a fairly simple type of card as well. And let me see what else I've got. Just running through some inspiration that we have. How about I do a bit of stamping? I've got some blends here as well. So let's get our stamps out. So I'm just going to stamp in black. And then we can do a bit of colouring. The gardener's here today. This might be my last card since it's it's gonna be a bit of colouring on this. So let's pull out some colours. I think I want this one, daffodil, I think. Oh, lemon lolly might work too. This daffodil and lemon lolly. Bit of, what's this one, granny apple, I think. And there's my reds. Red, parade, red. I've got cherry cobbler as well, so let's go with them. Okay, let's do a bit of colouring. Hopefully it won't be too long. I realise I don't have anything to colour onto, so let's pull out some black. Alright, let's do the bell. I should have prepared one earlier, shouldn't I? So yeah, this set you can actually do a bit of stamping. You could just, you don't need to actually colour these in really. You could just do a background. Depending on the time, I might do another one. Might do another card. We'll see. But yeah, you don't need to colour these in. But you can actually see that you can do some very different cards with this bundle. Sometimes when you look at things in the catalogue, they focus more on certain aspects of the stamp set or die or whatever. And so sort of going out away from what is shown is really helpful, and actually just playing with a product is really good. Just yeah, getting out and colouring. There go my little ones. Yeah, just getting out and colouring something is really nice. It can be quite therapeutic, quite relaxing. I mean, they did bring out all of those colouring books, you know. I found them quite intricate and more stressful than relaxing. But that's me. What's this one? You could add lots of shading and what have you to these if you are so inclined. I, however, am not. So I'm happy just to colour flat. But you could add some dimension to each of the, just by different colour, doing some shading. I'm going to go dark real red for the bell. Wrong way. I did too many bells. And I'll just have the holly leaves to colour in once I finish these. And what I'm doing is I'm actually offering this as a class. So if you would like to get this as a free class, all you need to do is place an order with me for an order of over $75, and I will send you the card kit for free. So basically, the class is free with the gift, with the purchase. So sort of like gift with purchase. So you'll have until Friday this week to place the order, and then I'll send the card kits out next week. So if you'd like to, so Friday, sorry, today is Friday. Thursday next week, I should say. Thursday next week. So what's that, the 18th? 18th of September. Oh, okay. This one I will actually add a bit of extra colour. I'll do a bit of two-tone on this one. just in the centre where the holly leaves join, or the vein. Very squeaky, this one. Okay. That's what we have. We have that. And then let's pull out, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? That one, I think. Alright, see how that goes. I'm going to trim that one down. What size is that? Morning, Tina. How are you? That's a nice surprise. And chop that one down to 10 centimeters by 14.3. This one. And then I'm going to chop this one down to 9.5 by 13.8. Oh, thank you. A bit haphazard, just like me. So I'm going to mount that onto black and then pull out my punch. It's very loud. So got some pull party. Are we the right size? No, not quite. I assume that's correct. Okay, we've got this. We've got some pull party. We've got some basic black. And we're going to mount that. I really should have my white grid paper. It's tricky working on the black mat. And then what do I want to do? Yeah, I think I'll do some twine on this one. You're very kind. Trim. But maybe I might actually chuck that behind. Yeah, I think I don't want the tie at the front. Yes. Better. Make sure my bells are the right way up. That's the key. And then where's my ephemera again? I've got the Miriam Bright, and then I think I can actually do a layer. Ooh, I like that. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I like it when I work out a card as I go. And then just dimensionals. I put them somewhere special. There you go. That one up there, that one up. Yeah, no, hang on. I want to try and make sure they're one at the top and one at the bottom. Oh, that'll do. Let's do another there. There we go. Cute little Miriam Bright. So, what else have I got for you? Do I have time for one more? So, all are very different cards. But as you can see, you can do something other than just using the embossing folder and stuff. You can actually do some colouring. So some of the other cards I did make. So these are ones I made a while ago. So I made that one. So used granny apple green and real red and crumb cake. And I did the dimensionals underneath the holly. Again, so you can see that. This was a fairly plain one. Just the white. And I cut them obviously, but then I just stuck it straight down, just like I did with that one. Another joy. Joy in the granny apple. That was quite nice. I actually like that too. And that's the same as that. That's slightly different. So this hasn't got the extra layer. This has just got the real red straight on top of the crumb cake. So they're other cards I made with this bundle. Oops, something's fallen. But I'm liking those 4 cards. This one's actually just come out quite well. That I don't know. Someone was doing a class by mail. I'm not sure who it was. Nice People Stamp. And I just see little images of they've done some colouring and they did the blue circle. So I thought, well, I'll change it up. Added the black and yeah, so quite happy with that. Alison and Jamie, that's who it is. Anyway, that is the Jolly Holly bundle, and the ephemera pack, and the black and gold and white paper. So if you like those cards, as I said, if you'd like to get this as a class kit, you won't get the ephemera pack, I've got to say. You won't get the trim or the embellishments, but if you want to get the card kit, I can send that to you. It's just basically the card elements. And if you place an order with me for $75, I will send that to you for free. If you'd like some embellishments, you just need to order $110 worth of product. But I'm sure if you just added the Jolly Holly bundle to your order, that in itself is $95.25, and that is the stamp set, the dies, and the embossing folder all in one. So I want to go me. Hello. So that's all we've got for you today. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. As I said, it's beautiful and sunny outside, so it's a great day to get out in the sunshine. What have we got going on with Stampin' Up at the moment? Well, there's the mini catalogue that's out now, if you haven't already seen that. And these products were actually online exclusive products from a few months ago. but it's a really, yeah, it's a really nice bundle. So get your hands on that if you haven't already. Sometimes, as I said, it's hard to see what the potential can be. So seeing other people create with it is always helpful. And if you ever get stuck with ideas on what you want to make with a particular stamp set, just put it in Google and do a quick search, or in Pinterest and do a quick search. You'll be thrown lots and lots of inspiration from people, and then you use that as a bit of a jump off point, bit of, yeah, springboard. That's what it is, springboard. And that will actually, that can help you get your juices, your creative juices flowing, and you can just get creative. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next week. So take care, and bye for now.